What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you guys are having a great day so far. In today's video, we are on the test server here, and we will be doing a playtest on one of the brand new Argonite champions, guys. And it's going to be Aria the Golden Hope. Amazing looking champion here, and she is going to be one of the brand new champions for the Argonite faction. If you guys are lucky enough to pull this champion, you guys will have a Argonite legendary to help you guys out in faction wars, hopefully. Let's jump in and take a quick look at the kit and base stats here. 110 base speed, making her incredibly fast. Max speed in this game is 115. So 110, same speed as the Arbiter, very good, nothing to sneeze at. 1600 base defense, she is defense based, going to make her a little bit on the tanky side. We do come in with 30 resistance and 20 accuracy. That's great to see. She is going to be a support champion. I don't think she hits particularly hard. Just pulling up her multiplier information right here. So we kind of see her base attack, single hit, 3.3x defense. Her secondary attack is a 3.5 AoE, no ignore defense, no shatter, no anything like that. And her A3, another AoE attack, 3.8 over defense. Again, no ignore defense or any kind of damage scaling boost for her damage. So her multipliers are definitely on the lower side, low, mid threes by X without any kind of ignore defense or other ways to scale up her damage. So we can kind of assume that she's not going to be an extreme damage dealer here. Let's check out her overall kit here. Her A1 is a single target hit with a 100% chance when fully booked of landing a 100% heal reduction. We're seeing heal reduction be a little bit of annoying debuff that is required in some content against some bosses, for example, Grim Forest. We see a huge value boost for champions like Lemonisi, for Valerian, for example. These are free login champions that bring heal reduction in their kits that help the majority of the player base with areas like Grim Forest, like the Fire Knight, for example. She has an interesting passive here attached to her A1. Whenever she drops below 50% HP, she will instantly use this A1, and it's irresistible when it's applied in this way. It's pretty nice, actually. So if she gets totally smacked, she'll come in, he'll reduce the enemy. So it's a little bit interesting. The A2 here, again, it's an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Before attacking, 100% chance to transfer all debuffs from allies to enemies. This is effectively a full team cleanse, but instead of just cleansing off and removing the debuffs, you're actually moving all the debuffs from your entire team to all enemies. This is a huge ability, potentially a massive swing. So you're taking all the debuffs from your entire team and then sending it onto the enemy team. I want to see this in action here. It's going to look pretty cool. Also places a Fortify buff and a Strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. Fortify is a buff that reduces the effectiveness of ignore defense. All right, and then Strengthen, obviously, you take 25% less damage overall. Single book into damage for 20%. I mean, that's great. Seeing this a little bit more often, I think, could easily have been 2 books for 10%, or, you know, heaven forbid, 4 books into 5%. But hey, 1 book, 20%, we'll take it. It's very nice. Let's check out the A3 here. It's a AoE attack, 4-turn cooldown on this one. 100% chance of stealing all buffs from enemies. After stealing all the buffs, it's going to place a True Fear for 1 turn and then block passives for 2 turns. This is another champion that's showing up with block passive skills. We're seeing a little bit more champions show up with block passive skills in recent days or recent months. For example, we saw Folan, and now we're seeing Arya. That's already 2 champions in 2 months. So this might be the direction that Plarium is going in. This is a really strong ability. You're coming in with some good CC here and potentially a huge swing ability if you're able to steal some of the buffs. The passive here, not crazy, but okay. Before the start of each enemy's turn, decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 5%. So this is each enemy, right? And it affects all enemies. So when one enemy takes a turn, it affects the entire team. Won't work against bosses. And then the enemy ignore defense effects against this champion is decreased by 50%. Harima's passive works in the same way, except it applies to your entire team. Her passive is just going to apply to herself. Now, this turn meter pushback can be kind of a negative against champions like Marius, for example, who has a passive that counterattacks if you push back the turn meter. So you have to be a little bit careful if you bring her in against Marius. Lastly, she does have a more specific aura here, increasing spirit ally speed in all battles by 25%. Now, she's going to boost herself by 25% at least. She gets that. So if you guys have any good aura or no other option, then you guys can use this, and at least it gives herself a 25% speed aura. Now, on first look, she looks like a really strong champion. She brings that cleanse, which could be an offensive ability also. And then she also brings a bunch of crowd control with some pretty good swing potential, right? These are really good crowd control abilities, block passive, and then obviously the big buff steal. Heal reduction could come in really clutch also. It's an interesting kit. The A2 particularly stands out as being very, very strong, probably one of the strongest team cleanses in the game. But anyways, let's check out the way I built her out. We'll bring her out into some content and we'll see how well she performs. All right, guys. So this is my Arya the Golden Hope. Now, I do have some pretty good gear on her. This is obviously a representation of my own account. You can scale down your own build based on your own account. But I'm going to tell you guys exactly what you guys need to do, what you guys need to look for when building out Arya the Golden Hope. In her kit, she does bring a bunch of debuffs. She has heal reduction here, and then she does bring 2 debuffs on her A3. This requires accuracy, of course. The more accuracy, the better. For PvE content, 300, 400, you're going to be covering basically everything. If you're going to take her into the arena, you're going to need way more than that. If you're in, relatively high arena, the higher the arena, the more accuracy, the better it's going to perform. You're going to need accuracy to steal the buffs. You're going to need accuracy to place the debuffs. The other stat you really want on her is speed. You want her to go as fast as possible. Although going fastest might not be the best, we will test her out in a different couple situations to see how her skills perform. This is the build I got her in right now. We have her in a bunch of random sets here. We do have a 1 turn or 1 total guard stack of Mercurial. Wasn't particularly going for it, but it just kind of worked out that the stats worked in this favor. We do have the 5-star blessing here. The 5-star is going to be really impactful for a support champion because it does give the plus 75 accuracy. Total stats on our Arya: 776 accuracy, 373 speed with about 70k HP and 5k defense. Very reasonable stats here. I did lean on some accuracy sets. So we do have a perception set and we do have a feral set here. Just going over the individual gear pieces here. What you're looking for is speed, accuracy, speed and accuracy, speed, no accuracy here, unfortunately. We have a big speed boost here on the glove, but no accuracy. And then we have big speed with the accuracy chest. We have accuracy here on the boots. This is the best banner I have on my Argonite. So, some room to work on this faction. Nice amulet here. Triple accuracy. And then really nice ring here. It's only a 5-star, but really nice ring for the Argonite faction. And that's going to be the Arya the Hope build for me. We do have Temporal Stagnator here. Temporal Stagnator is a very nice relic. It offers accuracy and speed, which is exactly what you want. You could definitely run something like the Wand of Submission, which is totally viable as a more accessible relic. Since she has multiple hit AoEs in her kit, I do like, and she's a disruptive champion, I do like the disruptive abilities of the Temporal Stagnator. So you're going to come in, we have this at level 12. You're going to come in, you have a 35% chance to remove, steal, convert buffs, or increase the skill cooldown when landing a weak hit. Now, that's not going to happen all the time, but when it does, it's potentially very, very disruptive against your opponent. And I kind of like this on her. Again, she has 2 AoEs in her kit. Feels pretty good. In terms of overall gems, we went for some turn meter boost and we went for some additional speed. She does land fears, so she can potentially get some additional speed here. Not too many options for the diamond gems, so just the best that we had. I tried to go for more accessible gems for you guys. In terms of blessings, we did go for temporal chains, again going for more disruption, decreasing speed by 5% for each active buff, up to 15%. For her, definitely something like polymorph could work. You could go with life harvest. You could even go with banner. These are all very viable blessings. If you're using her for PvE purposes, going for brimstone makes a lot of sense. So something like brimstone is going to give you some additional damage. Even something like cruelty could actually make sense. She does have 2 AoEs in her kit. Just giving you guys some options for PvE and PvP. Now for for masteries here, this is, I think, pretty general masteries, but probably a little bit more PvP focused. If you're looking for PvE masteries, War Master could be an option because you don't need crazy amounts of accuracy. You definitely don't need like 800 accuracy or anything. So definitely going down to War Master and skipping the Eagle Eye makes sense also. I do like lasting gifts. She does have buffs, so extra duration on those buffs could be good. She does land quite a bit of debuffs, so having Master Hexer is going to be good. So I do like the support tree for her. You can definitely forego the defense tree if you like and opt for the offense tree only if you're going for War Master. If you're going for War Master, Sorry, if you're going for offense, you must go for War Master. Just getting the other stats are just not really worth it. War Master is going to give you an opportunity to heal up. For example, if you take War Master with Life Drinker, you have an opportunity to heal up if you're using her for PvE content. All right, guys. So those are the build and specs for my Arya. Let's bring her out into some content and see how well she performs. All right, so I wanted to showcase her in a situation where your team's going to get debuffed a lot. This is going to be really interesting, so let's test it out here. So I'm not going to go too crazy right now with the boss. I want the boss to come in with his big poisons. There we go. All right, guys. So we can do the big cleanse here, right? Attacks all enemies before attacking. It has a 100% chance of transferring all debuffs from the allies to the enemies. So let's do that. Let's transfer all of our poisons back to the dragon. 1 time speed and oh, look at that. Amazing. And we get the fortify and of course the strengthen. Look at all these poisons, guys. This just kind of gives her an extra element in her kit where you can actually use her in some different areas. It's a really, really cool ability. And yeah, here against the dragon, it works perfectly well. Obviously, using the A2 in this way against the dragon, it also will work against other bosses like the Nether Spider. Sorry, I can't test her against the Nether Spider on this test server. We just don't have access to it right now. And then obviously the A1 is going to be really good against, like I mentioned, the Fire Knight and the Cursed Chest in the Grim Forest. Unfortunately, these things I cannot test on the test server here. We don't have access to the chest in the Grim Forest right now. And for Fire Knight, she's basically just going to be a support for her single hit heal reduction if needed. Obviously, she doesn't have any multiple hit abilities in her kit, so she might not be the best candidate for your Fire Knight. It really, really depends. I also just realized that she's fashioned after the Griffin in the Doom Tower. And she has a similar ability to the Griffin where she transfers the debuffs because the Griffin actually removes debuffs and transfers back. So it's actually a little nice bit of flavor here. And of course, we see the Griffin on her shield. I just kind of realized that here as I was looking through the Doom Tower boss lineup. Anyways, her kit really screams, arena with the block passives and true fear. Let's bring her into some arena content and see how well she performs. Luckily, we did gear her with arena in mind. All right, so let's go. All right, so first up, we are going to tackle this team here. We got some tough customers, Sabriel, Solinar, and Hecaton here, as well as Galthiers. So we're going to run her with Fabian as the lockout, and then we're going to run Mavara just for a little bit of turn meter boost. And we're going to run Marius here for our damage. Let's see how well she performs. Like I said, she's going to run into some issues against Marius. So ideally, you don't want to bring her in there. Let's see how we do. We actually go first, which is great. So we're going to be able to lock them out. And Marius is going to get a turn here, so we can remove some of these Mercurial stacks. Oh, even killing off some of them is kind of nice. Pretty nice passive A1 here happening against that Hecaton. So whenever an enemy has their HP drops below 50%, she's going to use the A1. There we go. Stops him from getting healed up, which is actually relevant here because Galthier does have the A2 that can heal. So now Hecaton cannot heal up, which is great. Let's see if we have enough accuracy to fear and block passive them. That would be pretty cool. We don't really need to use the cleanse at this point. And we do kind of get that to work. Oops, I should have used the revive. My bad. Unfortunately, they get stripped off there. And there we go. 100% chance to heal reduction. That's kind of nice. We have good accuracy, so we don't have to worry too much about getting resisted. All right, down he goes. And this should be it. After we get the Marius going, it should be it for this Galthier. No need to finish off this fight here, but not too bad there, right? Kind of liking that A1. Works out pretty well, especially against, Galthier, against Mavara. Heal reduction is very, very good. Let's go up against Ian's team here. Again, we go first, luckily, so we will get the lockout, except for Donnie. Donnie looks like we weak hit against Donnie. Marius comes in, kills a bunch of them. And I think that's going to be it. Let's get her to... Oh, notice that double hit. So we come in with the A1, and then she dropped below 50% HP. And then it actually hit twice, which is pretty good. All right, looks like it didn't work out here. Our Marius is too strong. So let's try that again. This time, no Marius slam. All right, let's just A1. All right. So random attack with the A1. You know that A1, it could be something. Could be something here. All right, so let's see if we can block passive the Donnie. Chance to weak hit. Can't really steal anything because actually we could test. This is what we could test. Attacks all enemies has a then the buff steal. Does the attack happen first? Then the steal happens afterwards. So the attack will trigger the material stacks. Does the steal happen afterwards? I'm curious. I don't think that will happen, and it does not. So the material does block all the debuffs. And of course, the predator evaded the attack. Heal reduction, that's pretty nice. Drop the Mercurial stacks. We get locked out this time. And there we go. Let's just do that. Okay, heal reduction, A1. Oh, there we go. The A1 actually pops off quite a bit. Actually pretty interesting. Pops off quite a bit. More than you would expect. So every time they drop below 50%, the A1's going to pop off. So that's pretty nice. Pretty nice touch there, actually. I like it. Let's go. Let's move on here. Let's keep going. More battles. All right. I'm not going to go with the Marius Slam. Oh, looks like the A1 is enough. All right, maybe we'll try somebody else instead of Marius. Marius is hitting a little bit too hard. Maybe somebody slower. We'll try somebody slower. Actually, we're gonna need some heavy hitters here against this team. Let's bring in Marius against this team. See how well we can do. Okay, luckily we go first. Get the lockout. Resist from Marichka. All right, can we steal some of this stone skin stuff off? All right, let's check that out. We got a bunch of lightning cages, and then of course we got Predator with lightning cage, and then of course his evade is on. See if we can steal anything. Nope, we can't steal anything, so that sucks. Can we strip some stuff off? We kill Bayek, which is kind of nice. Big heal up. Ooh, that sucks for him. And A1 dead. It's kind of nice. A1, stop your heal. Yeah, there's a lot of healing in some of these teams if you guys are noticing. So the heal reduction is actually pretty useful. All right. Oh, the Bayek passive. All right, guess we're done with this one. Yeah, obviously you're gonna run into Stone Skin, you're gonna run into Lightning Cage, you're gonna run into Mercurial. So the steal ability might not be as reliable as you think. Let's try. Okay, let's try Empress. Why not? Empress is a little bit slower, so he's probably not gonna get an attack in. Okay. All right, time to block passive. True Fear. Maybe we'll steal the Stone Skin and ooh, look at that. Block passives everywhere. Feeling good. Everybody's going to die here. All right. And then we got a heal reduction also. That's kind of nice. We're not getting debuffed. That's the thing. Not a lot of debuffs here to showcase the A2. Oh, this is interesting. Let's test out against Smiley's team here. Maybe we'll bring in somebody like Carnage. All right. Let's try this team. Ooh, lots of Mercurial everywhere. And we do have a Nell here. Nell might land some poisons on us. So maybe we can send it all back to him. Okay. Block passives on people. One block passive. And let's lock him out. Oh, here comes the poisons. All right, so we don't get a lot of action here. We do get one debuff transfer from one poison. Let's see if the poison getting transferred does trigger Marichka's passive, and Marichka's passive will place block damage on everybody. Let's see if that happens here. It doesn't. Interesting. That's pretty interesting. All right. So Carnage is gonna come in. We're gonna do the big smack. Can we block revive some of these guys? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. There we go, baby. That was a pretty serious hit, but it didn't really showcase the debuffs coming in. Let's see if we can find another team here that's gonna bring us a lot of debuffs. All right, let's try Sheeny's team here. He does have some debuffs with the Harvest Jack. Nice, we do get the lockouts. Big slams. Heal reduction, let's go. Surprisingly pretty decent. All right. Stealing buffs. Can we steal his buffs? He only has one Mercurial champion. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Stole the resistance up. Stole the strengthen up. Really nice. Like it. Oh boy, it's getting debuffed like crazy now. And it's got the A1 coming in too. The A1's blocking out the heals. Uh, don't really need the A2. All right. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to finish this fight without too much issues. Let's get rid of the fear. I want to see if the fear lands on everybody. I wasn't really paying attention to the first time I used this. But let's see if the fear lands on everybody. It does. That's a pretty big ability, guys. The A2 is actually really, really amazing. I mean, we already knew it was really amazing, but yeah, just seeing it in action, the fear just basically goes on everybody. It's really, really nice. Now, what we're actually experiencing here is that there's not too many situations where we can actually get super high value, I guess, from this in arena. Like what we're seeing right now is in arena, we're not seeing a lot of debuffs getting placed. And if they are getting placed, they're placed by somebody like Carnage, which has protected debuffs. So, for example, let's jump in here and let's test it out against Nubs' team. Like Nubs does have Hagaba here, so maybe we'll get some bombs against us. That could be interesting. We maybe send some bombs his way. Looks like we're gonna be able to lock him out. And is his team dead? Yeah, his team's dead. So let's let him debuff us, and we'll go from there. All right, so we basically just A1 all the way here. We're letting him debuff us. Well, that's a big one. There's the bombs. There's the bombs. Can we survive? Nope, we can't. It's actually very difficult. He has a lot of he has the lockout ability, so we can't let the Fabian lock us out. And Hagaba has a one-turn bomb, so it's actually very difficult to cleanse it off, especially if we have no buffs on ourselves. So it's going to be really difficult to get that to work. Let's see if there's another team here that has some debuffs. All right, after looking through a bunch of these test server teams, there's actually no team that can actually give us a bunch of debuffs that we wanted to test out the A2 on. I think we're going to go back here with Shini's team, and I think the Harvest Jack might give us the best opportunity at some debuff cleansing slash transferring. So Mary's going to come here, remove a bunch of these Mercurial stacks, and then maybe we can showcase the steal ability, which is very nice. Here we go. Let's see. They do have increased resistance. We do have increased accuracy. Let's see if we can steal a bunch of these buffs. There's a lot of buffs up here, right? So steal, true fear, block passive. Let's do it. Oh my goodness. Actually dropped most of them. Actually, all of them, other than the Mavara, who had the Mercurial stack. Really nice. Big swing ability there, right? But looks like I'm not even sure what this mythical actually does exactly, but he recovered pretty quickly there. Let's go. And this ability here is going to be our cleanse ability. We don't have anything to cleanse off right now. Let's just heal reduce. Let's heal reduce the predator. There you go. We got some debuffs here now. Let's see. Ooh, heal reduction there as well. That's pretty nice. Can we get back our steal ability? Nope. We got the transfer ability. Let's transfer it onto his whole team. Yeah, we just transferred it onto the Predator because the Stone Skin was on the new mythical champion, Heinrich, I think. Heinrich. So the A1. Fear. No, we got feared. Let's heal up. Yeah, I think Sheenie's team gives us the best opportunity to kind of showcase her kit a little bit here. Drop the Mercurial. 2-turn Stone Skin on that mythical champion. A little bit annoying, I guess. And then the A1 heal reduction. Nope, resisted. Oh, the increased resistance was on. Drop the Mercurial again. Barely survived that. Big blast there from that Predator. All right, so this is the steal ability. We don't have increased accuracy on, so we're probably not going to drop this Mavara's buffs. But maybe we'll drop the Predator. I don't know. We got to deal with the evade there. And we're lucky enough and we stole the Stone Skin off. Fear with the block passives. Pretty strong. Pretty strong, right? I feel like a heal is needed here. Stone Skin again. Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. Revive. All right, so this is going to be the cleanse. We don't have anything to cleanse off. Ally protection with the heal. This mythical's kind of interesting. Not damage, more support. But can pitch in a little bit of damage. Big damage hit there. All right, stuff's dropping. Nope. Okay, I think we're going to set up here for the big steal. Nope, there's the Mercurial. That sucks. Transfer. Nope. All right, let's see if we can steal some stuff. Got the Predator. But yeah, we see the little bit of limitation here, right? Obviously, Mercurial stacks get in the way. And as mentioned, you know, Stone Skin and Lightning Cage, they're all going to get in the way of stealing. We're also finding not so much opportunity to use the A2 for maximum effect. We got the A2 here again, but we didn't have any debuffs to transfer, so it's just kind of an attack. But on a 3-turn cooldown, it's pretty reasonable. We do drop the heal reduction there. When it activates with the passive, it's irresistible. So the Mavara has really high resistance, but in this case, because we activate it with the passive, the heal reduction did land, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. Okay. Heal up again. All right. Can we steal? No. Predator evaded. Predator evaded. Mercurial stack on Mavara. And then, yeah. A2. No debuffs to transfer. Interesting. Anyways, so yeah, pretty interesting setup here. That was a really good showcase of just her overall capabilities, I think, against a team that had enough elements to kind of make her overall kit stand out there. So obviously she's going to perform much better against teams that offer way more debuffs, but it can't be like crazy debuffs, because if she's like, for example, stunned or feared or stuff like that, she can't cleanse, right? So perhaps building her out with resistance also makes sense. But her kit really relies on accuracy as well. So really stat hungry champion if you want her at her absolute peak. So she would have to be, high resistance so that she can always get the cleanse off. But she needs high accuracy for sure to be able to strip and then obviously place the crowd control. Great champion. Really depends what you want to use her for. Like I said, for PvE content, you can get away with 300-400 accuracy and then just pile the rest into resistance, so you always have the option to cleanse off even if your whole team is hard CC, but she will resist the hard CC. That's really good. But for arena, the stats are going to be hard to come by unless you have high blessings. That's going to help a lot. 75 resistance going to be helpful if you want to build her out with some resistance. But I think a build like this, speed, accuracy is probably what you guys want to focus on just as a start for Arya. Great champion, really fun. PvE content can be really strong. This cleanse ability, one of the best in the business. 3-turn cooldown, full team cleanse, 2 good buffs, and it can be an offensive kind of debuff, crowd control, or even just throwing back poisons can be offensive ability also. And then this ability, huge swing ability on a 4-turn cooldown, but block passives incredibly strong. We saw that against Marichka and Taras, the team there. And even the A1 heal reduction can be very, very good. You see a lot of healing from those arena teams. So having this on, having it protected, having it ignore resistance will be very, very useful. Great champion overall, especially for the Argonite faction. If you drew her, congratulations. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this Arya showcase. Do you guys have her? Do you guys use her in this kind of way? Let me know how you guys are using her, how you guys are building her out. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It will really help me out. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.